I'm Heather Rose, and I am sharing a collection of about 20 pieces of Kurt Vonnegut Jr.'s artwork with the Drexel Founding Collection in an exhibit that'll be called Kurt Vonnegut Jr. as a Visual Artist. That'll be starting this March.
Hi, my name is Lynn Klauser-Waddell. I'm the Executive Director of University Collections and Exhibitions at Drexel University and the Director of the Drexel Founding Collection, which is the university's flagship collection of fine and decorative arts. We host multiple exhibitions across campus, including loan exhibitions. And this show, Kurt Vonnegut Jr. as a visual artist, will be on display in our Paul Peck Alumni Center Gallery starting March 14th. This exhibition is unique because it is a collection of rarely seen, or not seen since at least the 80s, drawings by Kurt Vonnegut Jr., who is known as an author. So to be able to see kind of his branching out into other artistic ventures is exciting. It also, a number of these drawings incorporate his literary legacy, or you can at least spend the time to kind of figure out how they're connected to his kind of literary world. The space that it's in, our Paul Peck Alumni Center, is a gorgeous building, but it's also a very intimate setting that allows people the time to really spend with these pieces by Kurt Vonnegut.
So I was inspired to organize the exhibition by my belief that the public should have access to this art, and generally that the public should have access to art. Much like his writing, this visual art speaks to people the same way that Kurt Vonnegut's literary art speaks to people. It tells messages. It's just absolutely fascinating to look at and think about, and it seemed to me not right for it to be hidden away from the public. I wanted the public, the general public, and not just a select slice of the public, to have access to it, to know this side of Kurt Vonnegut, and to be able to look at it and think about it and see it and share it. I mean, my intent was to share it with the people who are passionate about Kurt Vonnegut, and hopefully create a whole new group of people that appreciate Kurt Vonnegut as much as I do. I got interested in Kurt Vonnegut as a visual artist, following on my passion in him as a literary artist. I love documentaries. Documentaries are pretty much my favorite kind of television, or I guess media, to watch. And I was watching a documentary about him, and some of the imagery in the documentary was his visual art. And then I really spiraled trying to find out more about his visual art, and was so fascinated that I had known so much about him for so long, I thought, and didn't know this aspect of him. And then I loved to research and learn about people, and really then just went down the tunnel of learning more, and went down the road of trying to secure a couple of originals, and then ended up securing a nice collection of some originals. So on one hand, parts of this artwork are quite literally part of his literary legacy. There are characters that are from his literary legacy. We have his famous, butthole from Breakfast of Champions. There are characters that I think people can sit around and ask, is this a literary character? This woman, I wonder if she is one of the love interests from Cat's Cradle. I asked myself that the first time I saw her. There's another woman who I wondered if she was like, kind of the horse-faced woman from Cat's Cradle. There's Merlin, who he was fascinated with, and he's in the collection. There's somebody that I wonder, is this Sallow from Sirens and Titans? So there's characters that are just literally literary characters. There's also self-portraits. Then there's other aspects that I think are just kind of Vonnegutonian. He was incredibly thoughtful about weaving narratives together across books, across volumes and volumes of book through time. So you'll see characters continually repeat in a really astoundingly thoughtful way that to me spoke to how smart he was, and how good his writing was. So you'll just say, oh my gosh, like this character from Breakfast of Champions is now popping up in Mr. Rosewater and Across Galapagos, and these books that span huge stretches of time, and narratives, have this, it's almost like lace. It's like looking at lace. And I feel like that is happening here in the art. Lynn, I'd love to get your feelings and thoughts on this.
For me, I mean, there's the obvious, the Merlin. I do not know many of his characters from his literary characters, but what I do notice and across his artwork is a similarity between particularly his portraits of women. And when you speak about these characters that he continues to bring back in his literary legacy, you can kind of see that through his visual arts with the female characters, the female portraits are very similar. There's a real link between his pieces, particularly through the portraits of women and also the characters that he has.
We should talk about some of the additional programming that we have lined up with the show.
So one of the really amazing aspects of this exhibition is the programming that we have developed for the show. We are in partnership with the Free Library, and they will be hosting a creative arts therapy program as well as a panel discussion with the Philadelphia Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts. And here in the Peck Center, we will have writing workshops with Drexel University's Writers' Room. The exhibition, Kurt Vonnegut Jr. as a visual artist, will be running at the Paul Peck Alumni Center Gallery at Drexel University, March 14th through July 19th, and will be open to the public Wednesdays through Saturdays, 11 to 4 p.m. People should come. Come to the show.
Please come.